Hey guys, Kelly Walters here with Stahls TV, and today we are doing video 2 of our bleaching series, and today our focus is going to be with sublimation transfers. Now, as you can see, I do have a roll of CAD-CUT here, and we will be using it, and specifically we are going to be using our CAD-CUT glitter flake in our hologram gold. But incorporating into the transfers this round, it's going to be 2 versions of sublimation. So our first is our CAD-PRINTZ Sublimation Transfer, and then our next is our patterns, specifically using a sublimation pattern. So what we are doing is I am showing you how to play with bleach. Now, I mean that very loosely, of course. We're going to be bleaching some t-shirts. I'll be using our Gildan soft style tees. I'm staying in the heathered colors. Now, I will tell you, we will be using the sun outside. So when we go outside to bleach, bear with me on the outdoor elements. And of course, hopefully the sun will stay strong and we'll be able to knock it out of the park. Now, the first thing that we need to do is go ahead and cut our art for our glitter flake. We don't have anything else to do with sublimation, so that is done and ready to go. Next, we will weed, and then we will take our t-shirts to the heat press. We will apply our sublimation transfer, and then we will apply our CAD-CUT glitter flake transfer, and then we will go outside and bleach. Now, before we get started, before you get started, make sure you do testing of your own. With bleach, it can be very tricky. There's elements that can have an effect on it. If you struggle, use some heat. I know that helps. And then, of course, make sure you wash test whatever you are trying. That way, before you sell it to the customer, you know it's successful and it can be washed. So let's get started. Hey guys, before you get to bleaching, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. There are a variety of squirt bottles out there. I just am using an empty glass cleaner bottle. It does have a little bit more of a mist versus a stream. So if you are wanting a certain style of bleaching, I do encourage you to try a couple of different bottles. A little bleach can go a long way, and that's something that I've learned throughout this project, so make sure you try just a little before you add way too much, and then you can't take it back.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and protect our lower platen. Now, I have just folded a cover sheet about 3/4. That way, if I wanted to use the other side, I could cut it off, use it for smaller things. And because we are using a size small, I'm not too concerned, with the logo getting outside of where our protection is, just because of the size of the logo that we're using. So now that we've threaded our shirt, we're gonna just lightly pull it off. We wanna try to have as many seams as possible off of our platen. And then next up, we're gonna pre-press for 6 seconds. This allows any moisture, wrinkles to go ahead and release from the shirt. Okay, now that that is finished, we're gonna go ahead and lay our transfer right back down where we wanted it. Now, because I'm gonna be adding bleach to this, I'm not too concerned about the logo being about 2 fingers down. Right now we are about a hand, so 4 fingers down. Again, when I spray the bleach, it's going to kind of come up here. So instead of the logo shifting upward, it's going to be now in the middle, more of in the middle of the chest. Okay, we are applying for $3.95 for 60 seconds. Now, the other thing to consider is because we are on an automatic release press, I am actually going to hold on to the press before it lifts up. That way I can control it. Okay, now we have about 10 seconds left, so I'm gonna go ahead and just hold on to the press. I'm pushing it down, that way when it pops, I can control it coming up. Now, of course, it's a hot peel. All right, now next up, we're gonna go ahead and load our green shirt. Now, same thing, we will need to pre-press. Now, I am using a new cover sheet for this shirt, but I'm gonna go ahead and use that same cover sheet underneath a shirt for the transfer. So, pre-press. Now, like I said, I folded it, and as you can see, we have a little bit of ghosting here. Now, I'm just gonna fold it, that way I can use this side, and I'm getting multiple uses out of this cover sheet versus just one and done and throwing it away. Now, for ease, I'm just sticking it underneath the neck. And I really want to make sure this one is in the center. Now, for this transfer, our goal is to create a pattern underneath our vinyl. So, what I recommend doing so you don't have the straight edges is I've just gone and I have torn. It's not going to be perfect, but when you are bleaching a shirt, it's never going to be perfect. Now, if you want, you can go back in and, of course, make it a little bit straighter. You can add a little bit more character to it. You have really good control over the size that you would like to use. And that is exactly what I am going to go with. I can feel where my my cover sheet is, so I'm just going to adjust this just a little bit. Now, this one is definitely more a center chest. And because there's no way to get a good square center on this, I'm just eyeballing from my perspective. Okay, again, we have 60 seconds, and I will stop it once we are at about 10 seconds. And again, hot peel. Okay, now that our sublimation is done, we are gonna go ahead and apply our glitter flake. Because the glitter flake will not be affected by the bleach, it's okay to go ahead and apply that and then spray the bleach on top. So I'm just gonna go ahead and find my center very quick. And I'm just gonna place it in the midst of the middle. On top of our sublimation, we're not quite even in our square, but hopefully this will just give us a good idea on what it will look like. I am pretty much in the middle if I'm aligning up with the tag. I just see that I have a little bit more sublimation on this side versus that side. Now this is a hot peel, just my pressure. And especially with the sublimation, make sure you use a cover sheet. Since we're not back at the 395, we didn't activate the sublimation. We just have a little bit of ghosting right here. So just always take precaution and protect your upper heating element. All right, let's go bleach this. All right, you guys, we are outside, and the best place to bleach is actually in the sun. The sun activates the bleach just a little bit quicker, and you get to see results faster versus waiting overnight. You can do this inside. It's just much easier to kind of see where the bleach is bleaching when you are outside. So these are just two cover sheets that I have used in the past. I've just folded them in half. As you can see, I am using an adult small in this Gildan, so I don't really want the full 16 by 20 size. I'm just gonna put it in there for protection. Because it's not going to be the exact size that I need it, there might be a little bit of bleaching spilled over, but that's okay. Also ignore my boots. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get bleach everywhere. Okay, so I have my bleach in my Windex bottle, and then I am just going to lightly spray. You don't want to go too much too quick because there's no way of taking the bleach back. So as you can see, we are starting to get a little bit of change. So in the middle of the logo, that's where I'm really trying to spray the bleach. You can see that we are starting to turn colors. It doesn't have to be perfect. And of course you don't want that soak through on the other side, but if you do, it's only gonna add some characteristic to the shirt. But you can see the characteristics of the shirt starting to come to life. I am going to just set it to the side. And then up next we have the full sublimation. Okay, I went ahead and threaded our cover sheet like I did previously on that. Now the same effect that I had with the other one, I am just going to spray all over, right around where the logo is. Okay, we're gonna let that one sit for just a bit, and then we are going to review what they look like once they are finished.
Hey guys, we are done and I cannot wait to show you and review both of these shirts. Now, if you remember, I said to use a little bleach because it goes a long way. The reason why I said that is because I used a little too much bleach specifically on the Go Cats logo, and I will explain to you why here in just a minute. But make sure you just test a little, and if it's not turning like I should, just be patient, be a little more patient than me, and you will see some results, I promise. So the first one we're gonna review is our Peace, Love, and Rock and Roll. As you guys know, I did have some cover sheet. Inside of this, we did have just a little bit sneak through on the back, but that's okay. I like character. So I think it just adds a little bit more to the shirt itself, just because, you know, it's already got a lot of character. There's not a lot of rhyme and rhythm in this. Now, the reason I always say just be a little patient is because, as you can see down here, I got a little bit higher up. I was kind of going more for that type of effect, but I did creep up to the side. And then this actually turned out pretty decent in size comparison to the logo. If you remember, we dropped the logo down when we were applying, and it's because that bleach just creeps a little bit further up to the neckline. I added a little bit of character here on the sleeves, and overall, I cannot wait to wash this. It has not been washed yet. Literally put the blow dryer on it to help speed it up, and now it's a little crunchy. It just needs to be washed and dried. That way we can rid any of the bleach remaining on it. So anyway, I think this one turned out great. I'm really happy with the overall kind of grunge look that it brings. Now this one, I definitely went really crazy on the bleach. As you guys saw, it was just taking a little bit longer to turn. Well, they were both taking too long to turn, but the whole point with this was to have the leopard effect. So I went about 2 inches too far past where I really want it to go. So the idea was that we would have this bleaching, this, you know, kind of crazy pattern like right along the edge of the leopard. So you do see the rip transfer. I kind of like it. I'm not against it. But what we were going for was more of the fade away with the pattern and then the Go Cats on top of that. As you can see, we also are now picking up the pink in the leopard, which originally was not there when we were spraying outside. So once the shirt went white or cream, we definitely pick up more color from our sublimation transfers. Now, as far as the rest of the bleaching goes, I love the splattered look across the bottom. I just wish I wouldn't have gotten too crazy with the bleach and, you know, didn't go too far down, but a little goes a long way. It is a knit, you know, it's a material that soaks up water or liquids. So just keep that in mind when it comes to bleach, that it is going to spread just a little bit. But overall, this concludes the end of our two-part series with bleaching. If you haven't seen video 1, we use just heat transfer vinyl, and I hope you enjoyed learning how to sublimate and then bleach on the Gilding Soft Style t-shirt. I'm Kelly Walters. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you have enjoyed this content. If you have, give us a thumbs up. Otherwise, we will see you next time, and get creative. Bye guys.